When a 4-cylinder is nothing special and a V8 is too much of a luxury, the V6 is the right way to have something extraordinary. With a new car, you get a high level of efficiency in terms of power and fuel economy, but the older ones, those are sometimes even more enjoyable to listen, regardless of anything else. Each engine has its unique sound, sure, but there is something about the old stuff that is better than new. Honda C30A. Whoever is in doubt, this is the first NSX engine later replaced by the C32B. The 3.2 liter was shared with other models, differently tuned though, but the 3 liter was the NSX unit only. It was second to use the VTEC besides the VVIS, loosely interpreted as a variable intake length system. It was a fairly advanced engine. Honda did a good job during its development. Buick LD5 3800. The 3.8 liter engine by Buick is quite a famous one. It was marketed as the 231 as well, later changing it to the metric branding and also turbocharging the V6. It started on a decent level of 204 horsepower up to 280. It was the big Regal GNX with a ceramic turbo and in the real world making 300 horsepower and 420 pound-feet. Maserati Typo C114. The Maserati Merak engine featured nothing particularly special, although it was a 90-degree V-shaped 6-cylinder sourced from a V8. With triples of carburetors, it was making from 190 up to 220 horsepower. The more powerful versions had larger carbs and higher compression ratio from 8.75 to 1 to 9 to 1. There was also a 170 horsepower 2 liter. At the time, Citroën borrowed the C114 engine for the luxurious SM model. Jaguar TWR V6. Powering the XJ220, the JV6 was originally an Austin rubber engine dubbed the V64V. Since it was naturally aspirated, Jaguar and Tom Walkinshaw Racing had to accommodate it for use of a twin of Garrett TO3 turbos. With an angle of 90 degrees, its rev limiter was set to 7,900 RPM. It also had some features inspired by the Cosworth DFV2. PRV V6. The PRV engine is infamously popular for its low engine output, despite its sporty ambitions. It was jointly developed by Peugeot, Renault and Volvo, and besides those, also used by brands like Citroën, Lancia, Talbot, Dodge or DeLorean. Since 1984, the split crank pins were added and the engine finally fired evenly. A turbocharged variant of the 3 liter was made too, reaching road legal 281 horsepower, or race spec 610. Alfa Romeo Busso. Yeah, I know we are talking about the Busso again, but what can you do? It's amongst the greatest sounding. The first versions used 6 individual carburetors and pushrods to operate exhaust valves. Those were also filled by sodium to reduce overheating. This power plant was used mainly by Alfa, Fiat and Lancia, but a few got outside into smaller projects too. Nissan VG30 ET. The single-cam turbocharged VG30 was not widely used and is mostly known from the Nissan 300ZX of the first generation. American and Japanese got a lower output of 200 horsepower, while we Europeans could have been happy about its 230 horsepower. First, it had a T3 turbo and 6.8 psi of boost. Later, they changed it for a smaller and more responsive Garrett T25 unit, with a slightly smaller boost level. Dino V6. The 65-degree V-shape on a V6 is a unique one, but it has its reasons. It is more complicated to develop, as you need split crankpins to even out the firing, but this gave Enzo and Dino Ferrari space for larger air ducts for the Formula 2 version. It was later put into road cars to homologate it according to the regulations by FIA. Ford Cologne. The Cologne was developed by Ford Germany and was made alongside the NSX V6 sold on British Islands. Later it was replaced by the Cologne, which is a true vintage V6. Not only it was manufactured in displacements from 1.8 up to 4 liters, it was sold since 1962 as one of the first mass-produced 6-cylinder in the world. Audi 2.7 Biturbo. The 2.7-liter Audi engine may not be a true classic one yet, but it is a long time back its production was stopped. It was installed in the C5 A6 and B4 S4 with a decent tuning, while the operated unit from the B4 RS4 had new turbos, new intercoolers, better intake and exhaust system, and has one of the highest specific outputs amongst Volkswagen engines even today.
If you will tell